I'm about to do something drastic, even though I said I would wait a couple years. I'm gonna rearrange my library. I just got through saying like a week ago that I was gonna go through my entire Read, Burn, Hoard shelves, all of them. I only have like 10 to go before doing anything to my collection, but I'm inspired. I have a plan, and it's a really good plan, and I don't want to wait a year or two to get to that point where I'd be able to move things around. Also, internet, don't tell anyone. I might be considering moving soon, which means I probably won't have this amount of space. So now is the time. The time is now. I'm going to rearrange my collection, and it's going to be a complete undertaking. Let me show you what I'm going to do. First of all, I probably wouldn't even be pulling the trigger on this if I hadn't come up with a foolproof plan. I think it goes back to my book selling days where to move things around in the store, I had to make sure it would work beforehand and bring like a solid spacing plan to my boss for approval. So I'm the boss. I brought the plans to me, I approved, and this is what we doing. Behold my collection. I've got unread books right here, and I've got young adult books. Most in this case are read. The bottom shelves are unread, and the top shelves are unread. So what I am going to do, I would like to start reading more of my YA books, and I would like to be including them in my evaluation for Read, Burn, Hoard of my adult books, because if they don't stack up to the adult stuff that I actually like reading now, then they gotta go. But if I wait until I do like a YA specific, like Read, Burn, Hoard edition, like I don't know how that would work. I don't have time for that. So I'm going to integrate everything, and I'm going to bring everything down eye level. So what that's going to look like, all of these red YA books that I am keeping are getting moved up to these top two shelves right here. I should have just enough space to squeeze everything in. And then starting alphabetically, I'm going to take the beginning of my adult section and the beginning of my YA section and just start putting books in shelves. Everything goes down, then we'll come up here and we'll do another bit of the alphabet all the way until the end, and then we will put the stragglers, the remainders, on the top of the bookcases and hope it fits. It should fit. Like, I've done the spacing. It's going to be tight, and I really shouldn't be buying any more books, but I'm already kind of there anyway. And this is going to be huge because I have to move every single book in this library maybe a couple of times, but I think it's going to be so good. And actually, this is funny. I am just now noticing this. My read section, I go across the top like one whole shelf. My unread section, I take it down the bookcase. So I think that's funny that I did it like that. I think for the sake of, I'm going to take the new set, everything will go across the bookcase. Maybe even across the whole collection, like A through D right there, and then you come over here to the second shelf, and then E through whatever. I think that would be cool. It would make the room feel a lot more uniform, and it would put everything that I want to work on eye level. And yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. This is definitely gonna take me a couple days because, you know, I'm not busy. Like, I don't have enough stuff going on. Why not add one more thing? Some of you might remember about a year and a half ago, I had this really weird injury that was a lot of pain on my neck and shoulders, and I had a lot of pain behind my eyes. Very odd injury that's taken a lot of physical therapy to come back from, but I had to limit what I was doing or else face the consequences, and moving books around was one of the worst things. So it has been a long time since I've been able to tackle something on this scale in my library. Now that's the thing,
this is the first time since that injury that I've pushed it, that I was kind of testing my limits a little bit. And right now I'm kind of going for efficiency, which means I am moving more books around at a time than I think is smart at this given point. Gone are the days when I can sling like 10 to 20 books at a time in one go. My book selling years, those were amazing. But yeah, today a lot of progress was made, but I think tomorrow I definitely need to slow down a bit. Not a bad stopping point for a moment. I got more done in one session than I thought I would. And actually, I was predicting I'd only be able to fit 5 shelves, but I have fit 6. So the red books actually look pretty good up there. That corner's kind of weird, but yeah, I think this is going to work swimmingly, because if I can fit 5 shelves, that means I'm not going to have any excess that won't fit over here. So yeah. We are looking good. And then this is the fallout. These are all the young adult unread books that I'm going to have to integrate. And this is the start of the unread adult books I'm integrating. Day 2 of this project, and I'm definitely more committed to taking things at an easier pace. Stop trying to move things around nicely for the camera and just organize this library as if no one were watching. Like, I do a lot of really inefficient movements, moving like one book at a time back and forth, and I go up and down the ladder a million times because my legs are still fine. So if I can make up for some pain in my shoulder and neck by taking more trips up and down the ladder, I guess it's Stairmaster week, folks. But this way for me is so much more satisfying. It's about the process of moving books around and taking joy in seeing things come together gradually. And I don't know, I get some sort of OCD satisfaction at moving just like 1 or 2 books at a time. What you don't hear is the entire time during this process while I'm trying to move these books around, my 2 youngest kids are standing at the gate, the threshold of this room, yelling at me. Such is life with kids. The headphones help a little, but not nearly enough. Finally, some peace and quiet to myself where I can just take my time, enjoy this process, and really bask in the physicality of this project. I really like the way this is coming together. I decided instead of shifting books over in their vertical stacks, I'm going to spine everything out horizontally. And I know this is going to cause trouble near the end of the project because I didn't account for all of that extra space. So I don't know what I'm going to do with the excess books, but I am just loving way too much how this looks with nothing crammed in there. Everything has breathing room and space. I can see all my titles without having to move things around. It's just so nice. So it's a decision I'm making now that I may regret later, but we'll see how it goes. I think this change is going to make for a really fun new era of read, burn, hoard. You've seen me go through most of my non-read adult stuff, but this will allow a look into some of my YA titles. I anticipate having a lot more to burn during that project because these YA books need to be just as good as the adult stuff that I'm reading, or else they've got to go. I am so tired. A lot of up and down, but this looks so good. I love how this turned out, and as it happens, I had exactly enough room to fit everything. I didn't even have to carry it down to the third shelf, so I'm loving this. Like, all of these have been in prime real estate down here at eye level, and I rarely ever access them because I've already read them. So this project already is paying dividends on my soul. Like, it is so good. Still need to move these. Now we're at the part of the project where I have mostly empty shelves ahead of me, and I can just focus on getting these titles mixed together alphabetically, and it's just so satisfying to see everything come together one shelf at a time. And also, is anybody else catching what I am doing wrong here?
Just realized I'm going down the bookcase instead of across the bookcase. Okay. At least I noticed before I got through the entire thing.
Also adding to my future spacing program. While I'm arranging these shelves, I'm also pulling some titles from my read section, a couple first books in series that I know I'm going to have to restart before continuing. So I'm adding those back to my unread section because they may as well not have been read. I'm just going to have to pick them up again anyway.
I am really loving the results. There's something really peaceful of having all of the books spined out the way they're supposed to be. It was very chaotic to have things double stacked and all of that, so I'm already feeling a lot better. But because I decided to spine everything out, I know I'm going to have at least like 2 whole rows of extra books. And I'm not sure what my plan is going to be, but we're going to deal with that later. For now, we're just going to finish the project.
These stacks are complete. Doing the book math, this shelf on top of the bookcases has not been done yet. I have 1 empty shelf left, plus a handful, and 2 entire shelves worth of books to integrate. So because I decided to spine everything out perfectly, I'm going to be left with a completely extra shelf length 4 bookcases worth left of stuff. So here's what I'm thinking, long-term plan. Ideally, my goal over the next couple years is to unhaul enough books and to stop buying enough books and to read enough books that everything will fit within these 8 bookcases. That would be great. But in the meantime, I don't really want to house all of these on my floor. So what I'm going to do, these are all the red books that I have. I'm thinking of clearing out the bottom shelf down there of all of my red books by a couple things. I have a couple of holes here that I can squish together, add some of the red books on that second shelf there that I've picked up or read recently, do something else with all of those comic books, and I think that right there, just those changes alone will buy me 2 shelves. And then I am going to sell 3 shelves worth of stuff that I don't think I want or need. I don't know if I can get it to that much, but actually I only need 4 shelves, possibly 4.5. So I'll have 1, 2, I'll only have to get rid of 2 shelves worth of stuff, which honestly I don't think is going to be that much of an ask because I've been keeping stuff that I really didn't enjoy, but just kind of like a badge of honor, like, hey, I read that. I'm proud of me. Here's a marker on my shelf that I read something. But honestly, I think I can let some of it go. I also have duplicates of a lot of things. Like, for example, these lovely Robin Hobb trade paperbacks. I bought them because I wanted my set to match, but I think I am, like, as cool as they are, I'm not going to buy the last 3 books. I only have a partial set. I really love these hardcovers more. Long story short, I'm going to do some sort of decluttering video to see if I can get the inventory down enough to fit everything. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go through these shelves and pull out anything that's obvious that I don't think I'm going to read, because I do have a few things. So that'll be fun. It'll be a whole separate video. As you can see over here, I already have a few things that I've pulled out that I don't think I need to keep. So that's the plan. Tomorrow, probably gonna get all these books off the floor. The extras I'm just gonna stack on the bottom bookcase in front of everything else and go from there. This is the last day of the project, and as much as I love moving my books around, I am excited to finally be finished with this. I decided to do this project in the middle of a whole bunch of other chaotic things going on. The last thing I needed was one more thing on my plate that would throw my world into chaos, but when something like this inspires me, I just have to go with it. So I dropped everything, and I am so pooped, but I think it's going to be worth it in the end.
The girls will let you finish. You're on camera.
If I don't look too stupid, I'll keep that.
I've hit a bit of a snafu. This is as much space as I have left. Great. Those would probably fit if I Jenga it a little bit. But then I have all of these that need to fit. And I was trying to figure out where I was off with my calculations, and I think it's because I forgot to take into account all these new Pratchett books that I bought, which is 2 full shelves. So I think, just for now, just so I don't have to shift everything, because as you can see, the alphabet continues, and I've got all of the unread books on this shelf stacked, double stacked, whatever. Mom! Babe, I'm trying to film. Don't yell at me. I have a child yelling at me. Anyway, I'm going to put all of those on one shelf because it's kind of like a project shelf. I want to read Discworld over the next couple of years. So that'll free up that shelf. And I know I didn't want to double stack paperbacks, but I'm pretty sure I can finagle it so all of these books fit on one shelf. For now. I think it's a good start. All things considered, it turned out really good. Now, I'll admit, it's like 2 weeks later. I ran out of steam. It was so much effort to get this project done. And I decided to do it in the middle of having a whole bunch of other things to worry about. Now, I did end up having to vertical stack here, which is fine. It's behind my hauled cart. It's not going to hurt anything. But the goal is to have everything flat. And then I missed a book. It was stacked up underneath the shelves and I didn't get it in alphabetically. So I had to vertical stack there just to put this one in because it was just sitting up top. But the big picture is that this room is so much more peaceful now. I'm looking at opportunities and not stress. I love it, love it. I think it was a really good idea. If I had continued with the vertical stacks, I would have been able to fit everything into all of these bookcases, no problem. But because I made the decision I did, this bottom shelf of my red section is full of books that I eventually need to integrate into the unread section. But this is just a holding place for now. I have a bunch of unhauls here, books that I decided to just go ahead and let go, even though I hadn't gotten around to it in Read, Burn, Hoard yet. Finally letting the Mistress of Dragons series go because I'm never going to get back to it. Overall, I am pleased. At least one half of this collection looks really good. The other half could use some work now, and I have some plans. I feel like it's going to be my next organizational video, and I'm probably going to do a massive declutter of all my read books. So stay tuned! Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye.